Hi, my name is Shelley Sanders. I am a psychic medium and business intuitive, and welcome to True Self Tuesday. So go ahead and do me a favor and like the page so you'll know when I'm going live, and then also share so that other people can get benefit from what we're discussing today. So today our topic is how to pick up the pieces after a loss. So I wanted to have a discussion about this topic today because we have all experienced loss on some level, right? So due to COVID-19, the world is actually going through a loss, and we're all going through a mourning at the same time. So your loss could have showed up as in a death of a loved one. So maybe you've lost a loved one that was due to the virus, or you could have lost a loved one through maybe heart attack or cancer or just natural causes. But because of what's currently happening today in our environment, it's not allowing us to come together in order to console each other. So we don't have that opportunity to get together for a group the way that we did prior to the virus. Now what's happening is that maybe a few people can attend the actual service, and then for everyone else it's live streamed. So that's a big loss when you're not able to get that comfort and that consoling for one another. A loss could also show up for you as a job. So maybe recently, maybe you were laid off. You could have experienced a loss in income because your company isn't doing well and they have to find out other ways to cut back. It could be that you were furloughed. And so when you had that regular routine of being able to go to work, and you had your medical, your dental, you had your vision, you had all of your insurance along with regular income, that could be a big loss for you because now you're scrambling and trying to figure out what to do next. A loss could show up for you as in sickness. So maybe you've contracted the virus, you might be sick, and it's causing you to miss some days at work, or you might be concerned about your other family members of catching it. And so maybe you're experiencing some loss of sleep because you're actually worried. It could also show up as in a relationship, any relationship that was maybe having problems before we had to all go into quarantine and maybe was hanging on by a thread, is now being tested, and it no longer has that strength to stay together. So you might be experiencing loss of a relationship, and then finding your way of, how do you manage the bills and everything on one income where you were used to having two incomes. It could also show up for you as in freedom. The freedom to be able to move around and have your regular routine, being able to go to the movies, being able to hang out at happy hour or go to dinner, and just not being able to get out and about and enjoy yourself the way that you used to, can actually have you feeling somewhat upside down, like you're not quite sure what to do. So you might be finding yourself canceling plans and then rescheduling because you don't quite have that freedom that you used to. It could also be the loss of a home. Right now there are evictions that are starting to roll out, and you may find yourself in a position where you're looking for a place to stay. There's a lot of people that are becoming homeless for the very first time. And then your loss could also show up as in a business. So maybe you're a small business owner, and you've been kind of fighting and going for it and hoping that everything will be okay. But as these shutdowns continue and you can't get clients into your doors, you're starting to suffer. And it can be tough to keep a business open at 25% capacity. And if you're a business that's not currently online, you might really be suffering. So as COVID is now starting to spike and we're starting to come back indoors again, this recent loss could be it to where you're not able to open up your doors again. So with all of this loss, right, it comes mourning. So with loss, there's always a mourning. Sometimes we think of mourning as in death of a loved one, but whenever you experience actual loss in your life, you also go through a mourning. So something that I thought that would be helpful to you is the 5 stages of loss the 5 stages of grief by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and she wrote this book. And I found that as I was reading through it, it really helps you to know where you are in the cycle as far as the 5 stages of loss. And so as you go through these stages, just know that it's in no particular order. You can find yourself bouncing around from one to another. And with this is, be gentle on yourself as you're going through these stages, and then be gentle with others as you see them also going through the stages. So one of the stages is anger. And we're really seeing this play out right now as far as on social media. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of hate speech. We're seeing people that are throwing tantrums. So there's a lot of videos out right now where neighbors are yelling at neighbors. There's people that are losing it and having tantrums on planes. So there's a lot of anger, like whatever you used to be able to tolerate before, it's like now the patience are really short, and it's like a fuse and it just absolutely goes off. It's also showing up as domestic violence in homes, because as you're cooped up with each other and you're on top of one another and you can't quite get away, tempers are also starting to flare there. It can also show up as depression. So if you are someone that is, you can really feel other people's feelings and emotions, you might feel the sadness of others, and it's causing you to feel down and depressed yourself. So as you're inside and you're isolated and not able to get out and be with people and be social, that can cause you to get a dip in your energy, and you can start feeling down and depressed. So here's the thing is, as we're going through these stages, one thing to remember is you're not going through it alone. We are going through it as a world. We all may be on different levels and having different experiences of loss, but we're all experiencing it. Another one is denial. So denial is all about, you have a situation in front of you that needs to be taken care of, but you're absolutely ignoring it. So that could show up as in, maybe it's time to move because you can no longer afford where you stay, and instead of getting in front of it and looking for a new place to stay and getting boxes in order to pack up everything, you're just not dealing with it at all. It's like it's not happening, I don't believe it, so you're in absolute denial. Another one is bargaining. So that's when we send the prayers up and we're like, please, if you just solve this problem, I will never do that again. Or if you just save my aunt's life, if you just make it better to where she can come out of the hospital, I promise to spend more time with her. Or, if you could just help my dad to get off the ventilator, I promise to do community service. So we've all done that bargaining before. Oh, or if that pregnancy test is just negative, I promise that, so at one point we've all done that bargaining where we send those prayers up like, please help me, just, help me to get through this, and I promise, it's more of that, I promise to be good. And then the last one is acceptance. So this is when you just say, okay, that's it. I can't change what's happening. What's happening is happening. No matter how you try to force it or use your might, there's just no way that you can change it. And the thing that you can do in that moment is just surrender. And in the surrendering, you start to find your new normal. So this could be quite tough because it can be tough to find a new normal when things are constantly changing. And so it's like, as you find yourself going through this cycle, it's just to breathe through it. Know that it's not going to last forever. And one thing that is very helpful, so here's the thing is, I'm not a doctor and I cannot diagnose. But one thing that I found that was very helpful for myself was to seek out a grief counselor. When my mother passed, I did not go to a grief counselor. But when my father did, I did go to a counselor, and I found that it was so helpful to actually process everything and help and to go through it. And as I went through that with my dad, all of the old stuff that I had buried down about my mother, that was able to come up, and I was able to start healing that. So sometimes we think that we can do things on our own, and we need like a professional, someone that's certified that can actually help us out. So that might be a good thing to do is, as we're going through these ups and downs, give yourself a break. Talk to someone that's a professional that can help you get through the process. So I hope that you've absolutely enjoyed these tips. I had a great time sharing them with you. So let me share with you what I have coming up. So this Sunday, I am doing something that is brand new, and it's called Spiritual Sunday. So this is all about teaching psychic and mediumship. So if you are interested in this, be sure to come back to the Medium Shelley Sanders page. I will be going live at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'm also going to go live on Instagram at the same time. So absolutely pushing myself out of my comfort zone by going live on both pages. And we're just going to have a lot of fun. So, if you had any experiences and you want to know, is this normal? Or maybe if you've seen a psychic medium before and they've got some particular information and you're like, how did they do that? Maybe you have some questions about your own development and you just want to have someone to talk to, be sure to join us live. I'd be happy to chat with you. One of the things that I love doing is teaching and sharing what I've learned. It's one of my ways of giving back. So, so if you're developing or if you're curious, come on over and join us on Sunday. You can follow me. If you happen to be on Instagram at that time, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Medium Shelley Sanders, and be sure to like this page so you'll know when I'm going live. Now, the second thing that I have coming up, it is a free online masterclass. So it's called Third Eye Opening. And so this is all about helping you to open up your third eye. I'm going to give you some really simple techniques to open up your third eye. We're going to go through a meditation, and I'm going to explain the difference between a psychic and a medium so that you can understand what you're getting. So I've included the link to join us in the masterclass in the body of this video. But if you want it, it's thirdeyeopening.eventbrite.com, and the third is 3RD eyeopening.eventbrite.com. So if you can't join us live, don't worry, because you will be getting you'll get a recording of the video. So the great thing about the recording is that you can stop it, you can take notes, you can soak it all in, and you can just really take your time with it. So I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, and then in the free online masterclass on the 29th. So I hope that you enjoy these tips. I had a great time sharing them with you. Take care and have a great day.